Hello friends, welcome to this series of loosening up practices. Objective is to draw while loosening up ourselves and to come out with a true free-flowing narration of the subject. Please let me know if you prefer streets or landscapes as the references for future videos. I'll be sharing my thought process throughout while taking major decisions. So please watch, listen throughout before you attempt to draw or paint. If you're ready, let us begin. I'm using a cartridge paper and a waterproof pen for this exercise. And let us try to come out with some loose, big shape for some buildings. Maybe a double-story building, and at the bottom of it you have some kind of an awning or some kind of a shade, and then maybe a tree here. Okay, so these are just I'm developing the idea while drawing itself. So my mind is actually thinking about possible elements, and at the same time I'm also trying to draw it. Okay, so that is why you will not find too much precision or quality in the drawing, because I'm thinking as well as drawing, evaluating at the same time. So you will find a lot of scribbling sort of things. So, and I like such a character of this artwork, this sketching. Okay, so please don't worry if at all you're not getting it very precise. There could be extra few scribblings, lines, etc. here and there. I wouldn't mind it, right? So maybe a couple of figures here and there, and then some additional details, like maybe a small lamp post here. And I'm not sure whether this should be this short or I should make it taller. Let us make some couple of lampposts as of now, and we can always revisit the design. So these lines, even though they are pen lines, I am not treating them as definite, unchangeable, I mean, drawings. I am always keeping my freedom to change it. Even if there is already a pen drawing, I am okay to discard it and make another alteration. Some sort of elements on the building to make it slightly interesting, like the windows and the roof, maybe a guy looking from the balcony, and maybe a street lamp sort of thing here. I don't know whether that makes sense. And maybe a big electric pole. So these are, I mean, these are ideas as well as uh, I mean, some ideas for generating interest as well as for creating some interesting composition. So both these thoughts are, I mean, in my mind while making the drawing. Basically, it is the scribbling of my thought process. I mean, taking snapshot of my thought process. Okay. So here the colors are, I'm using some light colors, but I'm not specifically interested in any specific shade or, uh, I mean, color. What I'm looking for is the overall kind of the impression it makes. Okay, so you don't worry too much about what colors that I am using and what specific brand that I am using. You can probably look at if I'm using warm or cool colors. Maybe am I using a sharp, I mean dark or lighter tones. Those things we can take into consideration. So I have taken some reddish color, Naples yellow for the wall, reddish color for the roof, and some cobalt green sort of a color for the this particular shading or awning, whatever you call it. Okay, and now I'm looking at some sort of form, and then there should be something underneath, some sort of business that is happening underneath that shade and that green shade. And maybe people are sitting there, they're performing some activity, and I'm just trying to make that area a little busy. And I'm using a tint of the same, I mean, green color, cobalt green color, because when the light falls from top onto this shade, you will find that the green light will come down, and everything underneath will have a tint of green. right? So some sort of shadows, and that's it. Just softening it because I don't want sharp shadows there. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with the overall shape or tone of it. So I'm splashing some opaque colors. So it is some, you can pick up any opaque color, maybe mix some colors with a touch of opaque white and or opaque grays, whatever. Y- I'm just splashing them so that that area looks little bit engaged or busy. We don't have to do too much of details, but some splashing, some splattering will actually help. Okay, maybe some foliages here for the tree, and I'm worried about the overall shape of it. So that how does it look? How it matches with the overall composition? That is my thought process while making these foliages. I'm not precisely worried about the tree itself. I'm worried about the overall shape of it, how it suits the overall composition. That is the thought process. Okay, so don't worry about making very really realistic sort of trees. Representational approach is good enough. Impressionistic approach, right? I'm happy with the tree, and I keep doing these splashes so that this area looks busy. Please do let me know if you think this tree here is was a good idea or not. I think it was. It looks good. There could be some other things also. Maybe there could be some other small building instead of the tree. Okay. Now we need to go for some more definition of the tiles, the roof, and that can be done by adding shadow areas. Okay. So it is the darks or the shadows that actually define the things, that add a lot of clarity to the light. So lights without darks is very dull. Okay, you cannot depict light without surrounding it with darks. So dark tones are very important. So I have seen many students are not confident of using sharp darks. So please don't hesitate to use darks. Darks are very important. And while using the shadow color for this, I have used a darker version of the local color of the wall. So if the wall was say green, I would have used a darker version of green and mixing of some grays, etc. for the shadows on the green wall. So here it is a kind of a yellowish wall, orangish sort of a wall. So I have used orange and some gray color for the shadow. And within the shadow, you have to have the tonal variations. Okay. So I'm just trying to make some shadows popping in from the side. Maybe there is some vertical elements from the side, and that is creating some shadow on the wall. And let us continue that those lines. I'm not very happy with that. So let us kind of smudge it a little bit. So these could be shadows on the wall from some object which is outside of the frame. Okay, there could be so many things outside of the frame which may cast a shadow on the wall. So this is something of that sort. And be generous with your splashes. Okay, it creates a lot of interest. What about a, an interesting guy who is coming out to the balcony and then looking down? Maybe they are talking to someone. I don't know, or he is interested in watching the crowd what they are doing. So if you're not confident of making these figures, there are a lot of videos, and there is a playlist for painting suggestive figures. So please go through them, and you will get a lot of ideas of how to make these convincing figures in action. So I have started using red color for this figure. So I may use the same red color for a couple of figures uh, who are slightly far away from each other. Right, this figure is okay. I'm happy with that figure, and we actually we are not looking for precision. Okay, so don't worry about precision. Suggestivity is the key. Make it kind of impressionistic or suggestive, so that the viewer will get an idea that these are people doing some actions. That's it. Right, they are some couple of people, they are talking, they are discussing seriously about something. So these kind of figures performing some different actions, they help in creating story. So you can kind of visualize that these people are discussing, they are seriously discussing something, and they are aggressively walking towards the the hut. Okay, so you can come out with various ideas. And suggestion, I always worry about suggestion rather than precision. See, these are very tiny works. These are sketchbook size works, and maybe it is smaller than A4. Maybe it is slightly bigger than A5 size. So we have limitation in making it very pretty or very accurate. And I'm using a soft round brush with a good tip. The brand that I'm using is Camel Artist's Mob Brush, and you can use any soft uh, round brush with a good point, good tip. Good tip is important for these things because you may have to make some precise, I mean, precise impressions, precise suggestions. Okay. And I find it little challenging to sort of come out with the colors for all these figures. I tend to use some muted colors most of the time, but to make it little interesting and eye capturing, I need to make some color, give some color contrast. So I have picked up some yellows, reds, and greens, etc. for those figures. See, I would suggest you to try using bigger brushes for your artwork because the bigger brushworks will give some amount of boldness. Your brushworks will look more bold, more confident and authentic. You may have little difficulty using big brushes for small areas, but if you practice it for a while, I think you will gain confidence, and the brushwork looks interesting, even though there could be a little bit of imperfections, but it looks good. Okay. Try to use big brushes as much as possible. All right. I think I feel that we are done mostly, and we don't need too much of things to be added. Maybe little bit of details for the windows. Okay. And we should be careful while making these kind of details. Okay, so it is very easy to keep on doing these details and overwork and spoil the work beyond a point. Okay, so if you are adding details, always have a check. Okay, please step backward and see if the suggestions you are making for the details are they good enough, or I mean, is it really necessary to add anything more or not? If you are doubtful, or if you are not sure, better not to add any more details. If you are sure that it is required, then you add the details. Here I'm giving some suggestions for the tiles. Again, this is something that could have been avoided, but I thought it will give some character to these these tiles and the building as such. That much is enough. You don't have to draw and paint each and every tile. Let us make some shadows on the ground of this lamppost. Not sure if it went too long, but that's okay. We had to be a little consistent about the direction of the shadows. Okay, we had to assume some direction of light. In this case, it is the direction of light is from probably from top left. I can see some inconsistencies in the shadow directions, but that is okay. I enjoy this point where I add this orange color to the exposed body part. I really like because that gives a lot of contrast and it makes the figures. It brings life to these figures. I hope you are enjoying this video. If you think it is helpful, if you're finding value in this, please do subscribe to my channel and press the bell notification. And if you have any question, any suggestions for improvement, any topic ideas, please do let me know. I will try to go through them and take whatever is possible. Okay, all your suggestions may not be viable for me to do because I may have limitations uh, in various forms, maybe because some of the suggestions may be on subjects that I am not skilled enough to create videos for. There could be some other issues. Okay, so as much as possible, I will take your suggestions and I will try to incorporate them in my future videos. Some people say that I am speaking more while in these tutorials. So please do let me know if I'm speaking more and I should reduce the amount of speaking in the tutorial. Little bit of a shadow maybe for these windows. I think I shouldn't have done this anyway. Since I have started it, let me finish it. And yeah, I'm not finding too much thing to uh, modify, so I'm considering to kind of stop doing it. Maybe some lines for these cables, and maybe some lines. I mean, some cables hanging and some lines moving to the buildings to make it little bit more chaotic or interesting. And I think that's it. We are done, and we can sign it and then finish it. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope this was informative to you. And please do practice. Practice is the key. Loosen up yourself and take uh, decisions on the fly. Keep that freedom to take decisions on the fly, and don't worry about spoiling the work. So you have to practice. You have to gain confidence by making attempts, and while making attempts, don't worry about the results. Okay, so thank you very much for watching once again, and we'll soon see you with another interesting video. Thank you.